We're going.
Again, I'm never going to get sick of that theme song. I love it too much.
It's really good, yeah.
Yeah, but welcome to part 2 of this week's Game Club. Now we're going to just talk about some of the things that matter to us this week, such as the news and some releases on their way, and maybe one topic if we have some time at the end. So moving right along, talking about the news, I wanted to, since it's the beginning of the month, roughly speaking, for August, I thought we'd start by comparing PlayStation Plus to Games with Gold. What both of them are releasing for this month as free games, and just kind of deciding amongst ourselves who's doing a better job for August, and then maybe we can return to this in September, have a similar discussion, take note, just see who's doing better. Okay. And so I'm gonna IGN.com for this list. They have a nice little wiki where they keep this stuff recorded, and I'm gonna rely on that for the time being. Okay. So coming out on PS Plus in August, so free to you if you have PlayStation Plus, is Tricky Towers and Rebel Galaxy. I think that's a re-release. Yakuza 5, a game I'll never play and don't care about. Retrograde. Patapon 3, that was actually pretty neat, but that's got to be, I think that's being released on the Vita, not on the PlayStation 4 or 3. And Ultratron. Any games there that sound good to you? I think the only PS4 games are Tricky Towers and I suppose Yakuza 5.
I think Yakuza 5
yeah?
sounds
You into
interesting.
that?
I mean, I don't know what it's about, but the title
basically,
itself.
If you take like a really chintzy version of GTA, and you replace the run and gun with almost like a Tekken style fighting, that's what it's like.
Because Yakuza is kind of like a
Japanese
mob
gang
kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
they're the mob of Japan.
Yeah.
Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, so.
Okay, now in comparison, we have Xbox with Games with Gold, and they're releasing this month. Oh yeah, we got the Xbox fan over here. Over here,
Boy.
You got Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate. That sounds like a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's at least a lot of syllables.
Yeah.
And WWE 2K16.
Oh, really?
That's a pretty good...
That's a good one, yeah.
Wrestling games are fun. I don't even watch wrestling, but wrestling games are fun.
I actually haven't been on my Xbox this month, and I think I'm going to do that when I get home.
Yeah, and Spelunky. That was like a really well-regarded game when it came out about a year or two ago now.
Yeah.
And Beyond Good and Evil HD. That's actually a really solid lineup. Apparently another game is coming out called Tumblestone, but it's got an asterisk here because it's only free until August 15th, and then I think it gets removed. So as in terms of total value, the actual like retail price value, PS Plus is giving away $109.94 worth of games. Games with Gold this month is giving away $124.96, so they're beating them out by almost $20, close to $20.
Go Xbox.
Yeah, and actually, I mean... just as much as you are a fanboy of the Xbox world, I am definitely a fanboy of the PlayStation world. But this time around, I've got to give it to Xbox. I mean, a WWE game, Spelunky, and Beyond Good and Evil HD re-release. That's a really solid lineup.
That's a good.
So if you have one of those two systems, definitely jump over, pick those up, and
they're free.
And they are definitely free. Also, on talking about Xbox winning, I guess Steven Spielberg's Halo TV show is still alive. Have you heard about this?
Oh, no, I haven't.
So, Microsoft has not talked about it in a long time, reports GameSpot. But Steven Spielberg's Halo TV show for Showtime is still on the way, it seems.
Awesome.
Nice. I guess somebody asked Spielberg on Twitter about this, and he didn't ask Spielberg, he asked the project lead Spencer, and he stated alive. So this is still coming. Did you ever watch any of the Halo TV shows that were released? Not for Showtime, but it was a Netflix?
Yeah, I watched all of them.
You talking about the movies?
Yeah. Forward Unto Dawn was the big movie.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely brilliant for what it was, I think.
Yep.
It was like, I think they had a $10 million budget, and then they just released it for free. And it was better than, some $100 million budget movies I've seen. And then I watched all the ones leading up to, what was it, Halo 5's release? Spartan Lock?
Okay.
Yeah. Or is it leading up to Halo 4?
That would be
Halo
5.
Yeah, it was 5, I think. So kind of all the background of Spartan Lock.
Nice.
When they went to the destroyed Halo ring. Those are pretty good.
Yeah. That was actually pretty good.
So
Yeah.
you give these pretty good reviews. Would you suggest that they are good for anybody to watch, or do you
Yeah,
need to be the
absolutely.
hardcore fan of?
No, like
Halo?
I watched Forward Unto Dawn with my wife. And
Oh.
She thought it was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I'll check that out. I've never watched any of the Halo movies. I kind of skipped them over, assuming they'd be trash, video game movies.
Well, and Forward Unto Dawn isn't even really about Master Chief. So
That's a good idea.
It's like one of the first Covenant attacks. And so it's more about a character who's in Halo. He's in Halo 4 and 5.
Hmm.
So you don't have to know all of Master Chief's backstory. You could just enjoy it as a movie. If you're into sci-fi at all, you'll enjoy it.
But is it hard sci-fi?
The hardest.
The
Or if you
hardest
like
of sci-fi.
the Halo universe. Those
Yeah.
are pretty good to kind of get into it as well.
Now, I think I know the answer for Jose, but you can still give it. Chris, are you a big fan of the first StarCraft?
The very, very first,
I believe so, yeah.
like long time ago.
The StarCraft with no number after it.
Yeah. Not a huge fan. Played it when it was new. But that was ages ago.
How about you, Jose?
I never played it actually.
Oh, I was
at
wrong.
That time,
I was wrong.
at the time, I was playing Command.
Why are
and
you
Conquer.
on
I was
this
a big Command
podcast?
and Conquer guy too.
Yeah, that was it.
I liked Warcraft 3 personally. I was really into the Warcraft
I like
games.
Dune too. So
Oh, I love the Dune novels. Anyway,
you never played Dune 2 RTS top down?
who? Oh, did
No.
I? No,
Yeah.
I actually attempted to at one point, but the PC I had way back when, it wasn't that it wasn't powerful enough, but just for some reason wouldn't run it.
Your
Period.
386 just wasn't having it.
It wasn't having it. So, but I guess the good news for those of you who do like StarCraft is they are re-releasing it HD edition. They're giving it a whole new coat of paint and releasing the first StarCraft again.
There's a lot of that going around, isn't there? Because Skyrim is getting re-released and
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
re-releases.
I don't know who would agree with me on this, but I just felt that StarCraft 2 was a big disappointment. I mean, first of all, they split it into 3 parts, and it definitely I didn't get around to the second 2/3 because the first third definitely felt like a third of a game to me. It didn't feel. I mean, the armies, the forces were well put together, but the campaign I thought was very short and
I like the story though. I mean, it was pretty short, but I really enjoyed the story behind it.
yeah. I mean, when
good.
you're gonna pay $60 for a game when it's new, you would like the campaign to feel fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
And it definitely felt like a third of a campaign to me. So I never got around to the second and third one because of that.
I got to play the second one. I never really finished it just because I kind of fell off. I don't know. I just never really got into it. I didn't really like the Swarm faction that much, so I don't really care about that. So I kind of let it go.
Yeah.
So I haven't picked it up since then.
Also this week, there's been some news, kind of shared rumors, different video game journalists and news outlets are confirming rumors about the NX. That apparently its design and some features and some releases for it have been leaked. And in a nutshell, it turns out, if these rumors are correct, but everybody's guaranteeing they are, that this is primarily a handheld console that has a docking station connected to your television. So, see, I always imagined it the other way around. I thought it was a home console that would have something that could disengage from it to be a handheld, meaning it's going to have the power of a home console, but you could sort of take a limited power version of it on the go.
Yeah.
But it's actually the reverse, that it is a handheld, and however much power it has, it's what can it be packed into that handheld system.
Yep.
And that handheld will just kind of dock into probably an HDMI holder to go to your television.
And you can take it apart for 2 controllers as well for 2
Yeah, I
people.
heard about that too.
Yeah,
What do you think
so-
about that?
That sounds pretty cool. I mean, I like that idea that you're able to kind of maybe use it as you're playing as a kind of a handheld outside of the TV.
Yeah.
And then afterwards kind of plug it into your TV and then be able to play with another person with you.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
I'm a little disappointed by this news because I was happy with the whole handheld aspect, but I wanted it to be a really powerful home console first.
Yeah.
About a year ago, Nintendo didn't say a whole lot, but they kind of suggested that they were going to compete this time on power. That they're sort of hinting that it'd be as powerful as a PS4, maybe even a little more powerful. About a year ago, these sort of hints were coming out. And I thought that's great because, I mean, everybody says that Nintendo can just be their own thing, but that's bullcrap, right? I want I want to see what Mario and Zelda and anything else can be with a fully powered system.
Yeah.
Right? Not something where they've got to think of a gimmick to sort of justify its existence.
Yeah.
You buy many consoles from Nintendo, Chris?
Nope.
Nope. Have you ever bought a Nintendo console?
Not since Nintendo 64.
Okay. I've owned them
Was
all.
the last one.
I haven't owned every handheld. I've owned maybe 25% of them, but I've owned every home console, even the Wii U. I was like one of 4 people that bought it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it had about 10 excellent games, but then nothing else.
Yeah, I think what kind of hurt it was that at the initial sale of the Wii U, there wasn't a lot of first-party games for it, so not a lot of people bought it because of that.
Right.
So now they're saying that with the NX, they're gonna have at least 3 first-party games. Which
Warner
is
Brothers.
Zelda.
Oh, you're talking about first party. Yeah, sorry.
So like Pokemon, Zelda, and a Mario game are gonna come out within 6 months of that release.
Yeah, the rumor mill going around is that the beefiest version of Pokemon Go is actually going to be an NX game. That this is almost like just a teaser game. That they really just want to give you a free taste, and then make you have to go to the NX, which is a handheld, right? Maybe it'll have some GPS capabilities. I doubt that, but maybe it will.
Yeah.
So you can play Pokemon on it and get the full experience.
Pokemon on the go.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. People have wondered where all the features we would expect of the Pokemon game to be, right? Because it didn't come out feature rich. It kind of came out as a base package.
Yeah.
Maybe those features we're waiting for is actually on the Nintendo NX. That'd be kind of a slap in the face, but yeah, and it's going to have the new Zelda, which they've already shown, and they've hinted at a new Mario will be released with it, and I'm interested to see what the new Mario game could be.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what kind of engine they're using for that.
So look out for that Nintendo NX. It's supposed to come out, wasn't it first quarter of 2017?
Yeah.
I believe so. And they've not shown it yet. They better get around to showing it.
I think they said February or something like that, right?
Yeah, when they're going to release it. So they better show it starting like in September or October, because you got to build some hype.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, moving right along here. I thought we'd talk about, for the topic of today, No Man's Sky. It's about to the PS4 version is going to be released August 9th, the day that this podcast drops. And the PC version will come out 3 days after that on the 12th. And there's been just a great deal of expectation for this game. Some people just thinking this is going to be the end of the world for them, that this is the last game they'll ever need. They're just going to dump into this 18 quadrillion planet universe and never need another video game again.
Exactly, yeah.
It's also leaked recently, and somebody apparently got to the center of the universe in 30 hours, but he also admitted he farmed, he did some exploits to get that to the ending in 30 hours.
Yeah.
And I thought for the topic of this week, we'd talk about, first of all, what we think the game is going to be and how good it's going to be. That's question 1. And question 2, how will it be received by others, right? So, Jose, why don't you start us off? What do you think how good is this game going to be, and what is it going to be?
Well, I think it's going to be a pretty good game. I mean, if you like exploration and, kind of like a space sim kind of game, I think this would be a pretty good game for you, especially because of the art that they're using and procedurally generated worlds. Yeah. It's going to be definitely a lot of fun. I mean, I've played Elite Dangerous, and this game does appeal to me because of that, but I'm not going to get it. I'm just waiting out on that to kind of see a little bit more on what the feedback is. But yeah, it does look like a good game for somebody that likes that kind of stuff and hasn't played any other game. I say definitely would be a worth purchase.
My take on it is they haven't shown or given any indication that there's something that we might call a campaign, right? Like it definitely seems to be about the exploration, about discovery, about hopefully naming some things. You have to farm some resources to upgrade your ship. But if like as far as like the closest thing to a campaign there is just farming resources to upgrade your ship, that is not enough for me. I need more structure than that. I'm not the kind of guy that can get lost in Minecraft, right?
Well,
plenty of
actually-
other people are. Plenty of people love Minecraft, but I'm not one of those people.
But you can actually do other things like trading, pirating, and all these other things. So you don't have to be stuck on just creating a better ship. You can just actually participate in the world.
But my problem is that I don't want to do something unless it feeds into a great purpose, like some kind of story or narrative
You got to
or
save
campaign.
the universe.
Right. Like the idea of just pirating for the sake of pirating, sort of aimlessly doing even fun things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why I don't play Minecraft, because there's not enough purpose in it other than self-made purpose. Some people love self-made purpose. Those are taking off as games on the internet. I'm not one of those guys. I'm an old fuddy-duddy. I'm an old man in the video game world. Chris,
Fuddy-duddy.
what do you think about No Man's Sky? How do you think it's going? What do you think it's going to be? How good is it going to be? And then you can start us off. How do you think people are going to receive it?
I think it'll be a big deal right when it hits, because it's been such a big deal leading up to it. But I don't know about its staying power. You know, they talk about 18 quintillion planets or whatever, but they're all procedurally generated, right?
Right.
And so there's not going to be any, like you said, narrative,
Right.
and there's not real multiplayer as I understand it.
Yep.
And so, I mean, what's the point of flying around by yourself?
Right.
Even from Star Citizen, from the alpha, I know that when you get together with other people and start doing things, it's 10 times more fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I worry that No Man's Sky might be limiting itself a little bit. It's always more fun to explore with a friend.
Yeah, it should be called Lonely Man's Sky.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are people who like flying around by themselves and doing things by themselves and finding stuff, and so I hope it's good.
I think it's going to be the victim of the internet backlash. That like within like the first day there'll be a bunch of praise or confusion at least, and then by a second or third day after its release, people are going to just be trashing it. I think it's going to be the next thing to hate.
Yeah.
Because I think you get to a certain hype level and you just can't live up to it. It's going to be Suicide Squad, right? Suicide Squad, in my opinion, is not a bad movie. Not a stellar movie either. Just a good movie, an okay movie.
Yeah.
But the hype train was like in full force for that movie. And when it came out, you pay for it with the hate train.
Yeah.
Right? And I definitely think that I have a feeling No Man's Sky is the next one to get on board the internet hate train. I think it's going to completely be just smashed by people who thought they'd be big fans, who thought it was going to be the best game ever made.
Yeah.
I think that's partly Sony's fault. I think Sony wanted to make this one of the trump cards for the PS4, and they tried to keep, even though it's also on the PC, they definitely marketed it as a PS4 game, and Sony kept on kind of pushing it as this sort of like gigantic, huge, cutting edge, change the world sort of game, when in fact what it really is just like a really well made indie game.
Yeah.
And as a really well made indie game, it could have impressed us. But if you're expecting a game that's going to change everything, I have a feeling you're going to be really deeply disappointed with No Man's Sky.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It hasn't been out yet, so.
Yeah, that's why we are speculating.
Yeah.
Speculation, Jose. Don't you know that what the internet does is it talks about things it doesn't know yet?
Yeah. You're
Talks
right.
about things it never knows.
It never knows.
But I mean, it could change, and it actually could be the best game out there, right? And you know,
And
a
if
lot
it
of
is,
people
we'll
might
come on
want
and
it.
we'll say we were wrong.
I still won't buy it.
Yeah. if it gets highly reviewed by enough outlets, like if its Metacritic score is an 8.5 or higher,
Yeah.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it and I'll play it and I'll give it a real shot. But I feel so convinced that this thing is going to be so disappointing that I'm not willing to try it without seeing the reviews first.
Yeah, I think what Chris said, that, you know, not being able to have more of a community interaction would kind of hurt the game overall, because with Elite Dangerous, they do have like community events, and, you know, that interaction, social interaction that you can participate in kind of makes the games a lot more fun to play. And I don't see No Man's Sky, if it doesn't have that, I don't see how it could last longer than any other games like that.
Absolutely. So anyway, keep looking out for our calendar. Next week we'll be talking about, I believe we said, Inside. And then the week after that we'll be covering Enter the Gungeon. And then the week after that we'll do a game club on Pony Island. I'm really excited about that one. I can't wait for those 3 weeks to get finished. So play those games in preparation, get part of the conversation, send us questions, send us emails. When this becomes a live stream, when we're ready to do that, jump on that live stream and be part of that with us. But until then, find us on Facebook at our Game Club page, Faith and Whatever Presents Game Club. Find us on Twitter at FN, the letter N, W, Game Club. Also find us on our Gmail. You can send us emails there at fandwgameclub@gmail.com. You can find me at James Yule, Yuile. You can find Mr. Castaneda where?
At twitch.tv/Bumfoot, BUMMFOOT.
And you can find Chris Carmen where?
At Marion Ranch.
All right.
On Twitter.
Signing out.